Hi, good evening to all. Today's topic is all about the research process. It is an important topic of the research methods. So, first of all, we look at the meaning of the research. It consists of a series of actions or steps necessary to effectively carry out research. To effectively then turn our research, we have to follow these following the process. The process consists of closely related activities. Such activities overlap continuously rather than following a strictly prescribed sequence. To be done this process now, actually this process consists lot of activities. Those activities overlap with one another rather than the following the prescribed sequence. Process are as follows. The first process, formulation of a research problem. The selection of a problem or a topic is a difficult job. When we select a title or research statement, then other activities would be easy to perform. For the understanding thoroughly the problem, it must have to discuss with the colleagues, friends, experts, and the researchers. The topic or the problem should be practical, relatively important, feasible, ethically and politically acceptable. This paragraph explains how to formulate our research problem. The selection of a problem or the topic is would be the difficult job. When we select the title or research the statement, the other activities would be easy. For understanding the problem very well, we must have to discuss with our colleagues, friends, experts, and researchers. Through them, we can collect more information. The topic or the problem should have some features such as practical manner, important one, feasible, ethically and politically acceptable. The second process is literature review or extensive literature survey. After the first step, the second step is that of literature, mostly concerned with the topics. The availability of literature may bring ease in the research. For this purpose, academic journals, conference and government reports and the library must be studied. After formulating the research problem, the second step start of literature which is most connected with the topics. The literature the review will bring the research process in a easy way. For this purpose, we have to study the academic journals, conference and government reports, and library, through which we can get the literature review. Making hypothesis, it depends on the researcher experience. The hypothesis is to draw the positive and negative cause and effect aspects of a problem. It narrows down the area of research and keep a researcher on the right path. In this process, we have to make a hypothesis. This hypothesis depends on a researcher past experience. Hypothesis is to draw the positive and negative cause and effect aspects of a problem. So it narrows down the area of research and the researcher to move the right path. These hypothesis will help. And the fourth process is preparing the research design. It is done by the researcher. It may draw the conceptual structure of the problem. Any type of research design may be made, depend on the nature and the purpose of the study. Next, we have to prepare the research design. It may draw the conceptual structure of the problem. Any type of research design may be made. It depends on the nature and purpose of the research study. Next process is sampling. The researcher must design a sample. It is a plan for taking its respondents from a specific areas or universe. The sample may be of two types, a probability and a non-probability sampling. In this stage, the researcher must design a sample. It is sample means a plan for taking its respondents from a specific areas or universe. It has two types which are probability and non-probability sampling. Next process is data collection. Is the most important work done by researcher. The collection of information must be containing on facts, which is from the following two types of sources. The first one is a primary data collection. Maybe the experimental questionnaire observation, interview schedule, etc. Secondary data collection may be review of literature, official and non-official reports, and library approach. In this stage, we have to collect the data relevant to our research purpose. It is the most important job for the researcher. The data collection usually means that we have to collect information from the field. It has data collection process may be done by the two sources. The first one is the primary data collection, in which a lot of the methods has followed, that are experimental, questionnaire, observation, and interview schedule. Secondary data collection means it is derived from the primary data collection, maybe review of literature, official and non-official reports, library approach. Next stage is data analysis. When data is collected, it is forwarded for analysis, which is the most technical job. Once we collect the data, then we got to analyze the data, whatever we collected. Next step is hypothesis testing. Data is then forwarded to test the hypothesis. To the hypothesis are related to the facts or not. To find the answer, the process of testing hypothesis is undertaken, which may result in accepting or rejecting the hypothesis. Hypothesis test is done for the acceptance or the rejecting factor we need to find out. For that purpose we got to test the hypothesis. Next step is generalization and interpretation. The acceptable hypothesis is possible for researcher to arrival at the process of generalization or to make the theory. Some types of research has no hypothesis, for which the researcher depends upon a theory, which is known as interpretation. The acceptable hypothesis facts is enough for the researcher to make the generalization or the theory, or to make the theory. But some of the research doesn't have hypothesis at all, and which cases researcher depends upon only theory, which is known as interpretation. Next, preparation of a report. A researcher should prepare a report for which he has done his work. He must keep in his mind the following points. It is the last stage of research. It is the most important one as well. Whatever the researcher findings or the outcomes we need to prepare in written format as the name of report, research report. The report should carry a title, brief introduction of the problem, and a background followed by acknowledgement. There should be a table of contents, graphs, and the charts. The research in the report would be the title of the research, brief introduction of the research problem, and a background followed by acknowledgement. And there should be a table of content and graphs and the charts if necessary. It should contain objectives, the hypothesis, the explanations, and the methodology of the research. It must be divided into chapters, and every chapter explains separate title in which summary of the findings should be enlisted. Research report should contain research objectives and hypothesis and explanations of the research and which methodology used for the research purpose. Then the research report must be divided into chapters, and each chapter explains separate title in which summary of the findings should be enlisted. After the preparation of a report, the last step in the research process contains of a bibliography, references, appendices, index and maps or charts for illustration. For this purpose, the information should be more clearer. It is the last step of the research process. In this stage, we have to add and below the research report such contents like bibliography, references, appendices, index or maps or charts for illustrations. It should be more clearer. Thank you. We will see you again with another session. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed. Bye.